Hi, Les from Retired and Living the Dream. Today's video is going to be about the frozen pension and the new fee bill that was brought in on December the 2nd. The fee bill, what is the fee bill, you may ask? And this is sort of a warning to those people who watch my videos with regard to living in Thailand and your pension is frozen. Many people have contacted me and said to me, I'll just say I'll live at my uncles, my aunties, my sisters, my ex-wives, some accommodation in England, so they get their rise every year. Now be very careful, be very wary, be very afraid of what I'm going to be talking to you about with regard to this, the new fee bill. The fee bill is fraudulent payments, error payments and recovery, FEAR. Now the Department of Work and Pensions and the government say, no, it's not a fearful bill, but that's what the acronym is, and it is a fee bill. And I'm going to go through what the government can do. Be very, very, very afraid. Be very, very aware of the long-reaching arm of the Department of Work and Pensions and the government in the UK. You do not want to have them investigate you at all. So why have they brought this bill in? It's been looked at now for the past year, but it was actually brought into power on December the 2nd, 2025. The government have vowed to cut down on fraud and error in payments, and their overpayments in 23-24 amounted to £9.7 billion overpayments and fraudulent payments. That's 3.7% of their total bill that they have to pay out. So they are going to crack down on this. So how does this new bill affect you, or how can it affect you? They can monitor your bank account details. They don't even have to ask you to provide any documentation. If they suspect fraud, they have the powers to look into your bank account and all of your affairs and actually look deeply into your affairs without you even knowing. Eligibility and verification. The DWP can ask various organisations for any information with regard to your financial status. They have search and seizure warrants with regard to searching your property, taking away any documentations, data sharing and requests from your banks, any financial institution they can ask for without your knowledge. So the key concerns that everybody has. Critics worry about mass surveillance. This is Big Brother keeping an eye on you, whatever you're going to be doing around the world or wherever you are. Big Brother is going to be looking at your financial situation. And if they suspect fraud, they will act upon it. So many of you will be sat there thinking, the Department of Work and Pensions don't know where I am, what I'm doing. The DWP now have got AI bots looking at various things with regard to fraud. The AI bots can look at thousands and thousands of different information and assimilate it and then pass it to a human who can actually go through it deeper. But they are working 24 hours a day looking for anomalies. They will find you. They will put the jigsaw pieces together and find out what you're doing, where you are and how long you've been there for. These bots are there to gather the information, but it will be a human being that makes the ultimate decision as to what to do, where to go. But the AI bots are looking for anomalies and they will find them, that's for sure. So if you're found guilty about fraud with regard to the UK state pension, the government can take action and will take action. So what's the consequences of the pension fraud? Benefit or pension fraud is a criminal offence and is looked upon it very seriously. You can actually go to prison for benefit fraud. Yes, and it's a state pension, but it is still classed as a benefit. And here is the definition of the benefit. Legally and technically, the UK state pension is classed as a benefit within the social security system, but it's contributory benefit earned through national insurance, NI payments, not a means-tested welfare payment like pension credit. So it's often seen by people as earned income rather than a handout, despite being called a benefit by the government. So the legal clarification of this. The state pension is defined as a benefit in UK legislation to fit into the social security framework consistent with other NI related payments. So therefore, by labelling it under a benefit, it comes under their rules of being able to look at people who are fraudulently claiming benefits. So getting back to the consequences of pension fraud. you will be responsible for paying back any overpayments that they deem that you have fraudulently claimed, and they have many ways of taking this back off you. They can seize property, freeze your bank accounts, stop your payments. Do you want that to happen? I think not. So why risk it in the first place? If you've done it in the past, I think now is the time to stick your hands up and say, okay, I've got away with it long enough, and actually come clean and start claiming your benefits as you should be. If you live in Thailand, like I do, accept that it's going to be frozen. If you get benefits and pensions sent over to Thailand, you think you may be okay because nothing goes into a bank account in the UK. Remember, it's the DWP that send you your payments in the first place, and they'll be ruthless and they will get their money back no matter which way they're going to do it. They will get their money back. So the penalties for claiming your pensions whilst living abroad can go from imprisonment to having a fine. In some cases, a fine may be acceptable as opposed to imprisonment. This can range between 30 and 50% fine for the overpayment that they've paid you. So that's just an example of the fines that they may impose. And of course, if it ends up in court, there are unlimited fines that the courts could impose on you. There are various actions that they could take, and an imprisonment is one of them. And you could face imprisonment to a maximum of 7 years. So, key mechanisms how the DWP find out the information that they request or that they want. The number one is mandatory self-reporting. This is where you tell the Department of Work and Pensions actually where you are, what you're doing, and you give them all the information. Now, most people are telling me that I don't tell them, I just tell them I'm living at, my aunts, my uncles, my mothers, any excuse, but they actually don't tell them what they're actually doing, so they get their rises every year. This is, in my opinion, a recipe for disaster. And whilst you're claiming your pension, this is another way that they get the information. They need a proof of life certificate every now and then. Now again, it depends who you get to sign this proof of life, whether you do it back in England or whether you do it living in Thailand. That sort of raises a little bit of a red flag when it comes outside of the UK. Data sharing with the Department of Work and Pensions. So this is the start of the trouble that could happen, and it can just escalate when they start looking at other agents. Like me, my bank account, if they look into my bank account, they see that every month there's a payment goes to Wise, and then they can actually ask for the information for Wise, and then they will see that from Wise it goes over to my Thailand bank account. So already, as you can see, the red flags are waving. So it doesn't take much investigation for them to determine that I'm actually not living in the UK. They can look at the passport information, and your passport tells them exactly where you've been, how long you've been there for, when you got there, when you've left, and when you've returned, wherever you've been. So they will link up with all the agencies, and you will be discovered. So once the fraud investigation has been implemented by the DWP, they have many resources that they can look at. They will go through this with a fine-tooth comb. They will look at your social media posts. They can look into your telephone history. They can look at your bank history. They can look at any big purchases, whether your credit card and things like that. They will find out without a doubt. So there we are, in a nutshell, the PAFER Bill, which has been implemented from December the 2nd.